Welcome to the latest edition of the Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Substitute Teachers Service. My name is Mike Gross, and seated to my side is the great Jeff Reinhardt. Hello. We're going to talk about spring sports in the Lancaster-Lebanon League, and there's an intoxicating balminess in the air, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Yeah, it almost
absolutely.
feels like late spring.
Exactly.
Although in sporting terms, in most sports, it's still early spring.
Yes.
An exception to that, to an extent, is tennis.
Yes.
So let's start with that.
Let's start with boys tennis. Okay, good stuff here, and all three races are still kind of there, and there's a couple of key matches coming up shortly. Section 1, still Crest, still Enfield. Both 3-0, Township hanging around 3-1. The big match, April 17th, Hempfield at Cedar Crest. Circle it, could be for the Section 1 title. Section 2, two undefeated teams, LS 2-0, Cocalico 3-0, E-Town in the picture at 3-1. Today, Wednesday, as we shoot, big match, LS at E-Town. We'll see if the Bears can throw a monkey wrench into Section 2.
I don't remember hearing LS before in tennis. Yeah.
No, here they are. They've only played 2 league matches,
yeah,
which is kind
well,
of
that's
weird.
how some of this is, yeah.
April 19th, next week, Cocalico at LS. We'll see how Section 2 shakes down. Very interesting. LS at E-Town Wednesday is a key match. Section 3, still Country Day, 6-0. Pequea Valley, 5-1. They're still hanging around. Anvil Cleona, Dutchman. They're 3-1. Big match coming up there on the horizon. April 19th, Country Day at Anvil Cleona. 3 overall undefeated teams. Country Day 10-0, Cedar Crest 10-0, Hempfield 7-0. I took a peek at district rankings this week. I know we're only in week 3 of the spring, but especially with tennis, this happens fast.
Yeah.
District 3 2A team, Lancaster Country Day, number 1 seed. It wouldn't surprise me if
As
they
expected.
they stay there, exactly. 3A, Cedar Crest is number 1. Hempfield's number 2. Township's number 6. And McCaskey, number 3. So we're looking at 4 teams there at the top of the bracket already. That's
And there's
pretty
only
impressive.
2 classes in this sport.
That's it, and that's really impressive to have Crest, Hempfield, Township, and McCaskey all right there, all in the same section, obviously in 3A. So should be a fun finish for tennis.
I'm going to start with track. It's very early in the dual meet season, but so remarkable individual kids in this sport that we want to talk about a little bit. There are still a bunch of undefeated teams, but that doesn't mean much because there's only been 2 or 3 dual meets so far. McCaskey and Cedar Crest, undefeated boys and girls, and it looks like they're gonna Cedar Crest at McCaskey May 8th, end of the regular season, right before all the postseason stuff. Also undefeated. Central and Ephrata in the girls. Central 3-0.
Wow.
Donegal and Elko in the girls, both 3-0. And in the boys, the Rhines' alma mater is undefeated.
CB Bucks? Really?
3-0.
How about that?
Ephrata 2-0.
All right.
And in Section 3, Octorara and Donegal undefeated. Octorara 3-0.
Interesting.
On Monday, pretty significant dual meet. McCaskey beat Warwick. Boys pretty easily. Girls a little closer. These are 2 of the best girls teams.
No doubt.
In the league. And our guy Jason Guarente, who covers track for us, did a very entertaining story about this kid, Amra Kellum, who played youth football. She was a
McCaskey kid. Yeah.
She was a quarterback. She won all 3. Guess what? She's a good thrower, and she played quarterback in youth football.
Wow.
She won all 3 throws. She's especially good in the javelin. That's a kid to watch. McCaskey boys have an excellent hurdler, a kid named Emery Plaza. So we talked about how important it is to have the depth in the sprints. A lot of times, if you have depth in the sprints, you have a good hurdler, you have a good jumper, you have a good relay team, blah, blah, blah. There's another example of that. Now, also, Camilla Wright, who is part of that terrific relay team for McCaskey. She set stadium records in the 100 and the 200. Stadium records at McCaskey.
At McCaskey, that's
not bad.
That's a big deal.
11-9 in the 100, 25-1 in the 200. Now, bear in mind, another thing I want to mention, an excellent thrower, one of the best throwers around, Ella Lucas for Warwick, 155 in the discus. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And 39 and a quarter in the shot, which is, for this time of year, is
anything near 40 is
yeah,
really good.
that's near 40.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned the Wright kid with 25-1 in the 200 with a stadium record. This freshman for Cedar Crest has already done 24-3 in the 200,
Crazy.
which would be the stadium record, and she also is the best in the league so far in the 400, and you're going to get to see these kids go at it.
The Crest McCaskey meet, the track portion of that,
I know.
to go.
I know. That's going to be something that people are going to want to go watch, I think. That's really going to be something. And that reminds me, most of the league, including Cedar Crest, McCaskey, Hempfield, et cetera, are going to be at the Black Knight Invitational on Saturday.
Yeah, coming up. That's a good one.
Most of the teams in the league are going to be there. So that's it for track. Rhines, tell us about lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Okay, let's go girls lacrosse first. Usual suspects are still there. Section 1, Manheim Township 4-0, Hempfield 4-0. Wednesday night, as we shoot, Manheim Township at Hempfield, renewing their unbelievable rivalry in local girls lacrosse circles. Whoever wins that gets sole possession of first place in Section 1. The rematch will be April 24th, Hempfield at Manheim Township. Streaks, nights, oh my, Wednesday night. That should be fabulous.
Yeah.
I want to drop a couple of names here. Township, they've only given up 38 goals. That's it, lowest in the league. That's a good stat. That's good defense right there. Liv Palmer, who I got to cover in basketball, really good freshman athlete kid, 20 goals, 6 assists already. Olivia Young for Township, 19 goals, 3 assists already for the Streaks. Streaks, Hempfield on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for that final score. Section 2, LS still out front. Pioneers 5-0, Cocalico on their heels at 4-1. Last week, LS beat Cocalico 12-6 to take over sole possession of first place in Section 2. That rematch is April 17th, Cocalico at LS. LS has 141 goals, leads the league. I think they have 3 kids with 20 or more.
These figures don't make sense to me. I must not know anything about lacrosse.
I'm a stat geek, so
but the numbers are what they are. I'm not,
That's a ton of goals. 141 goals
insane
already for LS, big time. Let's mention Danica Souter. Got to cover her in basketball as well. She's really good in lacrosse. 24 goals already for Cocalico, so she's playing well. Boys lacrosse. Township and Hempfield, same thing. They're both 4-0. Wednesday, as we shoot, Hempfield at Manheim Township Wednesday night. That'll be for sole possession of first place in Section 1. Rematch, April 24th, Township at Hempfield. Fun Township stats. Streaks have 101 goals. That leads the league. Bennett Palmer, 21 goals, 13 assists for Bennett Palmer. He's been really good. Section 2, Cocalico out front. Boys 4-0. LS and Garden Spot have 1 loss each. They're chasing Cocalico. Cocalico's only given up 24 goals. That's good defense. Again, 24 goals against. That's really good. So the Eagles are playing D. Key matches here to circle coming up in Section 2. April 17th, LS at Cocalico. April 25th, Cocalico at Garden Spot. Those will be key matches in the section race. Let's drop 2 names. Garden Spot, Joe Bernick, 24 goals. LS, Zach Labrec, 22 goals. Boys lacrosse.
Thank you, Rhines.
Yep, sir.
Softball. Let's go quickly through the sections. Warwick alone in first place in Section 1. Everybody else has a loss. We're not too far into it, but still, everybody else has a loss. We said last week, Section 2 is a horse race, it seems like, in every sport in our league.
It is.
Well, there's a 4-way tie for first place.
Naturally.
Solanco, CV, E-Town, and Lampeter Strasburg. And then in Section 3, Donegal, very impressive so far. Undefeated, 5-0 overall, 70-10 run differential.
Wow.
Very strong. If you remember when we had Dave Byrne in here, Section 4 now, he talked about how Northern Lebanon had moved down, and that probably wasn't good for Northern Lebanon or for the rest of Section 4. Well, they're undefeated, and they have only allowed 3 runs so far. So they've been pretty dominant. I wanted to mention a couple of things. One, kind of picking one out of that Section 2 stampede. Solanco, 6-1, 65-10 run differential, and they are relying heavily on freshmen. They're starting 4 freshmen, a shortstop, middle of the order hitters, and the pitcher. And the pitcher, a kid named Kyra Rourke, shut out CV. That CV's loss in the section was just the other night. So for most, it doesn't seem like we have the dominant pitching. There's been a lot of slugfest in softball, but there was a key game that got pitched by a freshman. So Solanco maybe look for them down the road in addition to this year. And then I want to mention the game that Dave covered on Monday, which is a wild one. E-Town 14. LS 13. Again, this is in Section 2. A kid named Sophia Finch, 3 for 3 with a home run and the sacrifice fly RBI. So that's a pretty strong game. What's funny about this game is it was 11-1 through 4 innings.
11-1.
So we're 11-1 E-Town. So we're going into the 5th, and LS has got to score, or it's the 10-run rule. They scored 12.
Wow! What they bat around twice?
They said, well, don't even talk about the 10-run rule. 12. So anyway, that's where we are. It's a stampede in Section 2, and really solid teams in Donegal and Northern Lebanon and Warwick in the other 3 sections.
Which should make for an interesting playoff.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about that. There's a long way to go.
Anybody could win that. Yeah. That's interesting.
Rhymes.
Volleyball. Last sport for me. Back on the volleyball beat. Good stuff going on here in volleyball. Section 1 has been really interesting. A lot of facelifts already. Warwick's out front, 4-0. Warriors are number 9 in the state, ranked number 9 in AAA.
Okay.
Cedar Crest, 3-1. Conestoga Valley, good spring for the Bucks here.
Yeah,
they're 3-1. And Hempfield, which lost to CV last Tuesday, is 3-2. CV's won 3 matches in a row in league play to really jump up here in the race. They're right on Warwick's heels. Thursday of this week, big match, circle it, Hempfield at Cedar Crest. Crest is a game out, 3-1, but they're looking for a signature win. They want to beat one of these heavyweights here. They'll get their chance with Hempfield.
Yeah, they have not been in that top.
No, they've the last 2-3 years, their wins have gone up, and they've really come on in the league. But they're looking for the signature win now and saying, hey, here we are. Next week, these are 2 great matches. Tuesday night, Crest at CV. Thursday night, Warwick at CV. So we'll see what the Bucks are made of, because they're going to get Crest and Warwick, who are the front runners along with CV. Keep an eye on that. Section 2, good stuff. Manheim Central, 4-0. Garden Spot, 4-0. Barons are number 3 in the state in 2A. Wow. They're playing really, really well. Garden Spot joined Central at 4-0 on Tuesday night with a 3-2 gut check win over Cocalico. Eagles took a 2-0 lead. Just got to close them out. Wow. Couldn't close them out. Yeah. Garden Spot wins the next 2, forces a 5th, and wins. Tanner Laukoff, one of the best hitters in the league for Garden Spot, had 40 kills in that match. And Keenan Redkay had 53 assists in that match. That's a lot. That is a whole lot.
That's a lot. This just in. That's a lot.
That's a lot in a volleyball match. Key matches coming up in Section 2. Thursday night, E-Town at Garden Spot. I'll actually be at that. I'll see you in New Holland. Next Tuesday, the big one. We'll see if it's for first place. Garden Spot at Manheim Central, renewing their rivalry, which has gotten really feisty here the last couple of years. So District 3 volleyball playoffs this year will be wide open and a lot of fun. So, and I expect some LL teams to go deep. There you go. What do you got?
All righty. Thank you, Ryan. Baseball. We'll finish with baseball.
Baseball.
On Monday night, everybody played Monday night. The most significant result, I think, was Township beating Penn Manor 10-3. Wow. Penn Manor had been undefeated. They were the only remaining undefeated team in our league, and they had shown pitching depth. It wasn't just like they're relying on 1 or 2 guys, but Township, which has been capable of beating anybody in recent
much.
years, and they still are. They have a couple of losses, but that was an impressive win for Township. Township goes to Hempfield tonight.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to be going to that game in a couple of hours. I think Hempfield so far has probably been the best team in our league. They're undefeated and alone in first place now in Section 1. Their only loss overall was a one-run loss to Governor Mifflin. That was a pretty good loss.
Which is ripping it up in Berks.
Pardon?
They're ripping it up.
Yeah, they are tearing it up. They are tearing it up. They haven't really been touched yet. In Section 2, guess what? LS, Ephrata, E-Town, and Salenko, all 2-1. In Section 3, Manheim Central, they're only 4-3 overall. They have not been as dominant as they've been the last couple of years, but they are 3-0 in the section with that big win over Donegal. Lancaster Catholic in Section 4, undefeated in the section, 4-1 overall. One team that I want to mention because they're quietly off to a really nice start is Northern Lebanon.
There you go.
They're 5-1. Now they did lose, I think, 6-1 to Lancaster Catholic. So that's their only loss. But new coach, guy named Travis Tome, who really is a big energy guy. He's a social media guy. He's lighting a fire under him. They have a couple of guys, a freshman named Moises Gonzalez, hitting .474.
Hello.
They have another infielder. They're good position players, at least by the numbers. A kid named Brian Lowen, who's hitting .429, on base .652.
Wow.
They've pitched pretty well too. And Northern Lebanon has been. We did not see this coming at all. Huh. They've been pretty good, and maybe the understated story that we kind of missed so far in LL baseball. So anyway, the big one tonight is Hempfield and Township at Hempfield, and looking forward to that game.
We sat here last week, and I think Penn Manor had only given up like 8 runs, and they gave up 10 to Township.
And they've been doing, as I said, they've been doing it with multiple pitchers. It wasn't like they're completely relying on one of the Township smacked them around a little bit. So Section 1 is going to be those 3 teams, I think: Penn Manor and Hempfield and Township.
Usual suspects.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think we covered it.
I can't think of
anything else in your fertile mind, Ryan?
Off the top of my head, no. I think we're good.
All right. This has been the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Substitute Teachers Service. For Jeff Reinhardt, I'm Mike Gross. See ya.